We're reacting to the news that Newcastle's Sandro Tonali, because of the betting scandal in Italy, has been ruled out of football. He's been banned from all football for the next 10 months. Newcastle can forget him in the Premier League, in the Champions League, and anything else for that matter. They cannot have him in their side between now and August 2024. Simon, getting more information on this. It's understood Tonali will be allowed to train with Newcastle, though, from this point onwards. That's different from Ivan Toney. Tonali can train with Newcastle despite this 10-month ban. What does that tell us?
I don't know what it tells us. I don't know why. Maybe because the offence is something different to what Ivan Toney had done, the level of it, the fact that Ivan Toney may well have committed a greater number of transgressions, or maybe the fact he misrepresented information to the tribunal in the first instance, or maybe the fact that the offence happened in Italy. Yeah. But it is a different dynamic, so it will bring out the question and answer or argument as to why they would be treated differently. Well,
PJ's an Arsenal fan. He's one of many asking this lunchtime, look guys, am I right? Tonali did this while he was at Milan. Should they surely should be reprimanded about this? Because clearly my interpretation is they've caught wind of this, sold him to Newcastle, and all of a sudden it was somebody else's problem.
Well, that again comes down to the obligation. Listen, is it if Newcastle didn't ask the question, it's not necessarily Milan's responsibility to advance an answer to a question that wasn't asked. Yeah. If Newcastle said to Milan, "Does your player have any issues that we should be aware of, like gambling?" and they said no and represented it something that's very different, then there might be a discussion there. I suspect that's probably not the case. Newcastle were in the market of buying them for about 53, 54 million quid. Yeah. Would you own up to it as a seller? They're saying, oh no, as far as we gather, no, he's got nothing you should worry about. Milan would have been in the same situation, and what we're suggesting is that Milan got out from underneath, knowing what was coming down the pike. Right. Now, we've seen some of the state of Italian football, so it's not beyond the wit of man to make those conclusions. It doesn't mean that they're right. It does mean that football's got to look at things slightly differently. It perhaps has to write contractual obligations upon players that have waivers towards circumstances like this, or to make sure that they put a condition inside their contract that prevents them, or to insure against it. The bottom line is I suspect Newcastle, albeit it's not going to concern them that much because they've got to look at who's backing them and look at who owns them. Yeah. So with due respect, they'll find their way through this particular problem. But the bottom line is that there may well be an argument. I doubt that Newcastle, if we think there's going to be some legal ramifications and Newcastle starts suing Milan, I don't think that will happen.
Okay.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.